Hey friends, welcome to Moxie Gardens. I'm Mike Toomey, and today we're going to take a little lap around the garden. Just kind of want to get you updated on what we're doing here in the garden. I have been working a lot. So someone asked, am I a fair weather gardener or YouTuber? Kinda. If you've been following this channel for any length of time, you know that during the peak season, right around, I would say late July, I kind of disappear. I got to get to work in order to afford the things that we're doing in the background and putting into our space and reimagining things and that type of stuff. Got to make money, part of life, and still got to pay bills. And this channel does not pay the bills. So that being said, we're going to take a little lap, get you kind of updated. Got some future plans in the making. We do have our chickens. I may or may not share that with you today. I'm going to try to capitalize on a 2-day off. I rarely ever get a weekend off, so I've got 2 days off. I think I'm going to try to put together some things, kind of get it going in this channel, and then kind of break it out throughout the week to kind of share with you guys. So we may bring the chickens to you tomorrow or the next day. Who knows? We'll see. But let's turn the camera around. We'll get a view of the garden, kind of just make a quick lap, get you updated. If you're brand new to the channel, welcome. We did recently go over 25,000 followers, which is pretty dang neat. I don't know if I've lost any or how many I've actually lost since I haven't recorded anything in a couple months. Those of you who have reached out to me through Facebook, email, Instagram, any kind of social media, thank you so much. If you want to share some of your videos and things that you've got going on, pictures of your own garden experiences and that type of things, to our channel, feel free. You can jump in either into the email listed below, or you can jump in on Instagram and private message me, whatever. So let's just turn this camera around and kind of see what the garden is. There's good, bad, and sometimes ugly in this garden right now. So we've been kind of absent for a while. Anyway, just like the channel, we've got to get back acclimated to the garden as well. So let's get it started. Okay, friends, as per usual, I like to kind of start up here at the front of the garden. Just kind of acclimate yourself. It's pretty basic up here. We don't do too much. This is your basic landscape. You can see here, this is the Devil Strip, depending on where you're at in the country. Right here, we call it the Devil Strip, the strip between the sidewalk and the road that really heats up. But the reason why I brought that up is this little cavity right here. It's gonna look probably a little bit rough, and it does look rough right now, depending on when you watch this video. This is mid-October. I think this is like an 11th or something like that. But anyways, that cavity's there because we have a sprinkler head that gets this Devil Strip just to keep this grass kind of green. Otherwise, you can see over there, you can see what the heat during the peak season does to your grass along the edges. So in order to keep this looking good and thriving, that's what we have to do. So I just put a sprinkler head there, my son and I, and then we just went about our business. So it tends to work pretty good. Right here, we just have a really good flow of color, and I love the way things just kind of intermingle. You can start to see that we do have some things turning color, and you're going to see throughout the garden, especially if you're a new viewer, there's going to be some things that look a little sad, a little depressing. That's just part of gardening, especially if you're a new viewer or a new gardener. This is just what happens at this time of the season. And if you neglect your garden long enough, as we have here in the last couple months, it can really get bad. But you can see here, we need to cut out a few things, a little maintenance here. We got one little daisy that bloomed right there. That happens. Our planters still look really well. I like those. I really like our border, this brick right here. We just stacked it on top of each other. So there's nothing that we haven't done any different than or added an extensive labor cost or anything like that. Just basically the cost of the stone and then me putting it in. You can see here, been here for a couple years, but you can see it's starting to get that mossy tone. I really like that, especially in our shadowed spaces, spaces where the sun tends to not get. Everything likes a little bit of sun, but whenever you don't have the sun that a garden would appreciate, depending on what the plant or shrub is, you can get those mossy areas, and I really like that, or fungus. I think that adds another element to the garden. We've talked about this extensively about our planters, where we got those Nebraska Furniture Mart. The only reason why I'm redundant on those things is because people tend to ask, so I want to give as much information. You can see here, do have a little Hollywood juniper that lost one branch, but the one here on the left is still good to go, so I can remove that. But I think going into October with all your fall colors, I think it actually looks pretty neat. I know that seems a bit odd, but that is kind of my flavor. I like that type of stuff. We still have an area that I'm still building up. Again, we've been gone for some length of time, so we haven't done anything in this spare space. Remember early spring, we cleaned this out, added the soil, really got in here and was gonna develop this area, and we just never got to it. Life, right? We do have this piece up here that I need to take out. It's a weak spot. So I think because we've got so much going on in this space, sometimes the universe just lines things up to where it works out better. So I'm going to take this out here and we'll repurpose this wood in another area of the garden. But we just found a weak spot and it's coming down here on our plum. So we'll get this all cleaned up. But next spring, since I didn't really get to it, I know they're having a lot of sales at the nurseries right now, some really good sales. I just get the one day off, so it's Sunday. I'm not running to town. I know I want to bring you guys as much information and share a lot of things with you here in this garden, but it just is not working out. So that's where we're at. I do have this double file viburnum here, and it really looks well. However, I think we're going to remove this tree branch because I have this weeping white back here, and I just think we're losing the opportunity. So I've got several branches that come out over here, and they kind of come back to this walk space. I think I'm going to go ahead and remove this piece right here, and I think that'll allow some more light to come through. We talked about a number of things that we can put in here on this side of the bed, and this will allow, by me taking this one singular branch out, this will allow for a little bit more sun to get back here and allow things to kind of thrive in this space. I'm probably not going to be able to see it in the video, but there are a ton of little critters and bees getting their last little bit for the season, and I think it's fun. I tend to the only thing I'm really slapping and killing around our garden are mosquitoes. I've got bug spray on right now. Someone asked me, how do you keep your garden free of mosquitoes so that you can go out there and enjoy it? I'm not able to. There was a point I did. I've done everything I could. I guess I'm centered right here on these cones, but I've done everything I could by eliminating stale water, stagnant water, spaces like that. So, but for the most part, this garden's just gonna have so many different critters and things coming at you, and we've got everything. So when we open it up like that, it's just what it is. You can see here, this is a continuation. We still haven't done anything. Our planters don't look the best. I haven't been able to come out here and water, and I didn't put that burden on my family to help keep up. So got a couple pots right here. I was starting to pull some weeds and do some things, and I thought, you know what, let's put a video together. For whatever reason, sometimes we miss the information. Here's a little hobbit entrance. That, if you're a new viewer, you're gonna find that throughout the garden. That is a theme that we're doing. We're doing something a little bit different in this garden space. However, what was I talking about just before I went to there's a misunderstanding. Some of you guys miss a large part of the videos, and I don't tend to want to be redundant, because those of you who follow really just want new viewers to get caught up. So it's a happy medium. It's hard to do YouTube sometimes, but because I go away during the summer, there's a lot of missed opportunities for the garden, and so we're just kind of getting cleaned back up. But right here, you can see we have honeysuckle that's growing over, and right over the top of the azaleas. There's an entranceway right there. Thinking about adding another little whimsical door to that space. If you remember, we put in some planters through here. We've got some things thriving. We got some things that I've had to take out and cut, just part of the season. We do have our chickens. Once we get closer to where we're going to kind of have a cold front, whether it'll be a freeze or a snow or something come through, I think I'm just going to turn them loose to the garden and let them just kind of frolic around and just enjoy. I am a little bit timid because I do have the new grassy area in here. We have a lot of grass seed that we just put down. In fact, we had grass seed come in once, so the front yard looks nice and lush. We overseed every season during late September, early October. It didn't take very well back here, so we redid it about a week ago. So we have some stuff coming up. So Hei's not able to be in the video, but she will make her entrance. Oh, that's what I was talking about just a few minutes ago. The misnomer that something is wrong with us when we go away for a bit. There's nothing wrong. Our health is good. We're thriving. We're doing. It's just life, and we are not your basic YouTuber that's making a living off of this. So when we disappear, it's just because I got to make money, and that's where it's at. But anyway, we've got a lot going on here. You can hear the sound of our little water space through here. This was a creek we put on earlier in the season. I really think it's really come together, especially as you kind of look around. You'll see all the leaves and stuff that are dropping from the canopies above us. A lot of these leaves in this particular space are from our birch trees above. They're not falling off due to the season. They're falling off because we are really dry. I don't know where you're at, but raise your hand if you're dry. We are extremely dry. In fact, I still have plants that I purchased from a sale at Bumgar's, and they're still sitting here. But right behind it, look how sad our hydrangeas. They're so thirsty. We don't have a drip line back there. So typically my wife and I will get out here and water during the season. Everything is super dry. We're really thirsty and ready to kind of fire off some storms and hopefully get us something going on here in the garden to help us go into the winter months with some good moisture for these roots and trees, shrubs, plants to have for as they go dormant. Moon ring. Oh, look, there goes a rabbit. Our moon gate here. People call it the moon ring, Stargate. It's fun. Anyways, made of metal. That's going to come up. I know you're going to tell me just let them get caught up, but it is what it is. It's part of the tour. We've got a lot of things that are going to come to an end. You can see the marigolds around. I thought that was a good little mixture with the pinks and yellows. I really like that. We will have some neighbors probably starting to pound on things here pretty quick. I can hear them in the background, so we may have to cut this short. You can see the canopy to our redbud here. I really like, I come back this way because I really like the way it's encompassed the moon gate. I think that's a good look. We put down the railroad ties right here. Right here, our hot tub area, remember we used to have all of our nameplates, license plates from different states, countries, islands, but the honeysuckle's growing up so well through here that I moved those to the top part of our porch behind us. If I get time, I'll give you an aerial view over there and I'll show you those. But here's the back side of the entrance over there. I think that'll really look good if I come up with some type of doorway, kind of close that off. We put that up so that we can sit back there in the hot tub and kind of during the winter time and just kind of have our little bit of privacy. The mice or some type of critter came in and chewed on the wire to our pump here, so we killed that. I got to get in there and put a new pump in there with the rewiring or rewire it. But you can see here we've got some moss now. That happened about 2.5 months ago, so that's why that looks yucky, but nonetheless it still looks kind of cool with the moss and everything. It kind of fits the garden. We'll kind of look through the moon gate before we continue to make a lap around. As you can see here, I need to mow, but I cannot get on that grass because we have a lot of new grass seed coming up. Right back there, chicken coop. We've got my little office back there. And then we've got, of course, our little shop where we keep lawnmower and all of our garden tools. So remember when we planted up the sedum and, or pardon me, the ajuga down at the bottom? It looks really good. There are several things that are covered up because I've got the sprinklers on 3 times a day. It weighed down the sedum, and so the sedum's falling forward, but it was standing tall. Sedum does not like a lot of water. It can handle all the neglect you want to give it. So right now it is pulled forward because it's trying to get the little bit of sun. The sun is dipped in the sky, as you know, so it's getting a lot less time, but it really wants that sun. And then you couple that with all the water that we're giving it. But could I go and cut those out? Yes. So the other things below it don't suffer. I could, but also too, there's just a little bit of life left in this garden where the different insects come in, butterflies and bees. So I want to leave something for them to eat. So I will sacrifice the visual so that those little critters can have a little bit of juice going into hibernation and however it is that they go to sleep for the season. We have a rabbit or something here that's just been eating along the line right there. Such is life. Some of you have asked at different points in the last couple months, did we get our pond pump up and going? I'm going to do that in the next couple videos, but right back here, so the water should fill up back there, spill over. Right now it's just running off a hose. You can see some orange down there. Those are the fish. Remember early in the season we had, what, 13 inches of rain hit our space, and I don't have very many videos that I posted after that moment, but all of this was underwater. So a lot of fish ended up in this little creek because they washed out, though. In fact, the pond was under about almost a foot of water. And so all this was underwater, right? And so the fish ended up in here, in the other creek. Some of them didn't make it. Some of them, in fact, I will take you over here real quick. But I don't think you can see it right now. No, but the bottom part of the shed was underwater. So those fish could have ended up anywhere in here. The fence line was clear up to the, probably about right there, was just all water. 13 inches of rain comes in, that's just what happens. So a lot of the garden space, we posted the video of with all the rain, so feel free to go back and look at that. But where we're walking was under, you know, a couple 2 or 3 inches, but for the most part the pond was under about a foot of water. The water actually went up at one point to the top of that, or to the bottom part of that log there. So we're gonna get in there and we'll get all things fixed up. And the ivory halo dogwood, this is the most spectacular shrub that we have in our garden during the spring all the way up until about 2 weeks ago. And it just really, because it doesn't get the sun, it's not in the best location with everything we've got going on around us, it tends to die off the earliest and go dormant. But man, this is such a spectacular piece. And raise your hand if you've got these halo dogwood in your garden. You can attest to how beautiful this, and how bright, shiny. It just really speaks to a space. So that's a lot of fun. But right now, not so much. So if you're brand new to the channel or you're a new gardener and you're like, what is that ugly thing? I promise you, go for it. It's probably just in the wrong spot. Coupled with the end of the season, it just tends to look like this. But I would definitely suggest that you go and give it your best shot. There goes another rabbit. Garden is filled with rabbits and different critters. Here's a different vantage point of the garden. Remember our little bird or bird cages? We call them bird cages. We'll get around to them. There's 2 or 3. If you don't follow us on Instagram, feel free to jump in there. We've got a ton of videos that really showcase what we're doing here in the garden. Obviously, because YouTube has standards such as, oh, I knew I would forget the name of it. But anyway, if I play a video, a soundtrack to somebody can capitalize off of, and they will get any kind of income that this video would make. I can't think of the name. It'll pop up in my head. To you guys, it's probably popped up right away. But anyways, we get a notification if we use a video that has some type of volume or some type of artist song to it, and so then they get the credit for the, and any money that would come off of that video would go straight to them. So it'll pop in my head here in a minute. But anyway, so go to our Instagram, and we kind of just jumped on TikTok recently as well, and we kind of put the music to it, and that really gives you a visual of what we're doing here in the garden. The Tiger's Eye sumac is slowly transitioning. It's got a real good glow to it. Typically, I keep a journal of everything that's going on in the garden, the time that things start to go to sleep and colors changes. So we're right on point, but it's just so dry. It does get a little bit of water from the sprinkler system, but Tiger's Eye sumac don't care for the water too much. But I thought it'd be a good time to stop right here. Yep, they're starting to do work in the background, so I do apologize. But this is part of what I wanted to show with the video: the good, the bad, the ugly. But you can see here our iris, they're not getting the sun. They're also getting too much water. So they're floppy like that. So it won't look good again until next season, which is funny because we have that coupled with some other sun-loving things right in this space, or lack of water they appreciate. And we're sitting in a space where they're getting a ton of water. So this was a fun little transition right through here earlier in the season. However, we get a lot of different critters coming through here, and some things have gotten knocked over. In fact, one of my posts got knocked over. I noticed it the other day when we came out. So such is life, right? We've got cats that run the neighborhood. Actually, we have a cat that likes to go potty in the middle of our yard, and our little Haster thinks it's fun to roll in it and then go surprise us in the house when she's done. So that's when we know the cats have been in the yard. So right here, I've got the two jars of foam, 2 cans of foam. We're gonna foam that up so we can get this to fill up, spill over into that spillway. And I know some of this has been a work in progress for 2 or 3 months, but it is what it is, right? We've got this little hobbit area. It looks so good in spring and everything, but because I've been out here, I kind of neglected it. This area back here, we had rabbits and whatnot chewing on all of this. But if you go back and look at some of our videos, it looks so lush. But again, good, bad, and ugly. You can see here our heuchera was all the way through here, and it just looked fuller than that. It was just a glorious little look, really good look. You can kind of see in the background, we've got our chickens right here. We'll do another video of that here soon. Like I said, they're starting to do some yard work next to us and putting up, it looks like a canopy. So we're gonna hold off before we go back there and do chickens and stuff. I'll wait till it gets a little bit quieter. You can see we've just got some fun stuff going on here in this little pathway. I really like to take and build up barns or sheds and, you know, chick coop, and then really just kind of come in front and make it look sharp as all get out. And that's kind of what we're doing. You can see our vine around here. It's a honeysuckle. It did really well, but I've got the tree right above us. I need to take out a few more branches, which I'm sad about because it really kind of just makes this area cozy and romantic and tucked away. But I'm not getting the sun. I'm gonna kind of pan to you. You can see the space right there where the sun's at. So the sun's sitting somewhere right in there. So we're not getting the sun down here for this honeysuckle as well as it wants. So next season, my intentions are to kind of guide it through here and really make this look good. I also have honeysuckle on the fence right here, and I think that'll look really, really good. You'll see some of the black, you'll see some of the chicken wire, but it'll take some time. But you can see that this area right here will all just be encompassed by the different growth habit. And if you remember back there at our wall, our inspiration wall by the hot tub, how it encompassed that whole area. I think that's going to look really, really sharp. I would like to take you guys over the bridge and into the grass, but again, we've got a lot of grass coming up, so we're not going to go over there. But here is our climbing rose. You can see it's still got a little bud on it, but it's even back up here. It's even forcing its way to more sun. However, I'm going to start guiding it along our little fence line right here. That's gonna be such a great look. And these rose bushes really want as much sun as possible. They'll take a beating, right? But it's gonna have to, I'll have to figure it out, but I really think that we'll have enough sun going along here that it'll thrive. So yeah, I think the garden's gonna start looking really good. I am worried about the grass a little bit because the more these leaves fall, it's added more shade to that seeded area that needs to really thrive in the last little parts of the week before the season ends up in snow and cold weather. So I'll kind of pan around here. At some points I'm probably just rambling. Like I said, we'll go back there here shortly and share the video with you of those guys. I do have some whimsical fairy tale stuff going on in my little office here. I've got some more pieces coming in the mail, but I can't wait to share that with you. We would go in there, and I really don't know how I'm going to do it because it's a small space in there, but it's looking charming as heck in there. And so we'll go in there when I'm all done. I don't want to kind of go in there right now. This video, I don't know how long will end up being, but you know me, I like that fairy tale, whimsical little look. Hi guys. Hi. They're so curious. I put a couple videos out of them. But it's fun having those guys here. And I like I said, I think once the season kind of, when I know it's about to turn and we get this grass growing, I think I'm going to turn them loose and let them just come in here in the garden. This was a huge hit. I absolutely love our little bird cages here because about the time that we put those up was the time I started working a lot of hours. So the things that are in here, so there was petunias in those. You can see there's some petunias in that one, and there's some petunias in here, and some rose moss and different things. But right now it's time to go ahead and take them out and do something different with them for the fall season. Who knows what that'll be, but I thought this was fun. So if you're interested in looking at this, and if you're interested in looking at this in a different perspective, and when I say a different perspective, we're going to talk about that whimsical fantasy, the little music that you can put to it. I do that on the Instagram and TikToks, and I don't have to worry about any kind of consequences by sharing somebody else's music. So feel free to go on to that and you'll really check that out. It looks sharp. I think I actually do some shorts on this video on YouTube. So yeah, I think I do some shorts on here so as well. So you can, if you don't have any of those, feel free to check those out. So I'm working inside of this area right here. And if you can see here, that really clean window, just kidding, there's no window there. I fell off the chair as I was standing on it, and the chair kind of tumbled over and broke out that window piece. So you can see here, I've got a little bit more to clean up here. So that's also why Hey Hey's not back here. So I broke out one of those window pieces, so I've got to go back in and do that, fix that, which is really upset me because I wanted to kind of really add to the fairy tale or the fantasy of this area back here. I went online. Somebody asked me, how did you get the roots to grow so fast on there? No, this is all fake. I went on Amazon and purchased these. If you're wanting to know about those, just message me, and if I don't put it in the link below, I perhaps will forget. But yeah, so I think that's kind of a fun little twist to the garden. It makes it look like it's been there for a really long time. And then again, with our shorts and different things we add to the garden, we put the little whimsical music and fun, and you get to kind of pull the covers back and not think as an adult, get to kind of think as a child again. So that's kind of what we're doing here in the garden. I'm almost to the point where I can fire up that. We've had temperatures in that still in the high 80s. I think today's supposed to be in the high 70s, but we're getting there. The other morning when we woke up to go outside, I could see my breath at 4 a.m. So, and at 6 o'clock I could still see my breath, and when I was driving I could still see the vehicle's exhaust coming out. So we're getting there. You can see here, this is a better vantage point across that across the yard, and you can see the tiger's eye, how it's starting to change colors. That's going to get real orange, real orange and yellow, and it's going to really be sharp. If you kind of look here, we've got some maples and some trees that are starting to kind of just, you can see the peak of that maple tree right there, just starting to kind of turn colors. October 10th, 11th, something like that. So we're right on track. Sun's starting to dip lower in the sky, so things are starting to turn. It won't be long. And then that's where I'm like confused on what I share with you guys in the garden. You guys want me to put out a lot of videos and continue to share the garden. I will try as much as possible. At a certain point, I will be doing some things back here, but eventually, right here in the Midwest, our little Kansas garden, it's just gonna look, you'll get to see all your neighbors and that type of stuff. You'll just get to see everything. And so once the last leaf drops off of here, it's a sore sight for eyes. So, but I want to kind of bring as much as I can to the garden, to this channel, so you can see the garden in the different seasons. So it can't just all be lush and gorgeous, I guess. You got to be able to see the curtains pulled back. So the hydrangeas actually are doing still good. These Annabelle hydrangeas. Now they have kind of a dip spot. When we got that 13 inches of rain, it just never recovered. I mean, this thing was laying down the ground. You can see I've got some things in here that kind of are trying to stake it up just to hold on a little bit longer. Remember when we put the Brunnera in here? We put it in another spot. It's thriving right here, but we got one spot that was right over there I meant to share with you guys, but I think I put 5 and 3 of them perished. I just didn't get the water to them in this my absent months in the garden. Yeah, so when I get home from work, I think I've got like an hour and a half of daylight left. I still got to eat, play with our little girl. My wife and I take Hey, our little girl, take her for a walk every evening, and then feed the chickens. By the time you're done, there's just not much time left in the day to get out here and do a video. So that's why you haven't seen us. But yeah, everything's well here. Thank you guys so much for hopping on here and taking the time to reach out to my wife and I and check on our health and the status of the channel and that type of stuff. It's just something you probably missed over the season, but we tend to do this every season, where we just kind of go away for a little bit because work calls. And so Fairweather gardener / YouTuber, no, just life gets in the way. So I hope you guys enjoyed kind of getting caught back up. Again, we will share some video within the next couple days of our chickens, because a lot of you guys are very interested. I've got some projects that I got to do in the yard, so I might just take you along for some of the things that we're doing in the garden. I got to paint the backside of the window units that we put into the coop. I definitely want to share with you guys what we're doing inside there. That's going to be fun. I can't wait to have grandbabies. They'll really get a kick out of what's going on in there, and you might as well, if you can just kind of go into that mindset of what we're doing here in the garden. And it's fun. I want to put in a greenhouse right here, but not your typical greenhouse. So there's some things we're going to do right here on our little bridge. I really want to take the same wooded material. Let me turn back around here ever so softly. But the same wood that we have throughout the garden, so that we have a consistent view of what we're doing. But I kind of want to go through, turn you back around, just want to give you guys a visual. But I want to kind of put a rails through here some way, somehow, elevate it up off the ground, just kind of give it just a little bit more, a splash of whimsy, a little splash of, I don't know. It's whatever comes to your mind, I suppose. But I want to do something like that just kind of help guide you through the garden on this little bridge that we kind of put in here. And if you remember, you've been with me long enough, this was the very first bridge that we put in the garden, and now we've got like 5. It's still the original wood and whatnot, because everything that materialized in this garden was all by accident. So here we are today, still doing our thing. What fun. Anyway, oh yeah, remember we planted a whole bunch of coleus in here, and this is normally our happy spot. I came out here one day last month, and they were all gone. This is exactly the way it was. So I don't know, was there a critter that came through here? But it didn't happen overnight. It did happen overnight. It didn't happen over time. It was just, they were there one day, we watered them, came out the next day, and this was the way it was. But there's no remnants. There was no coleus broken to the ground. There was nothing. They were just gone, just like this. And so I don't know. I have no idea. I'm still in my mind trying to figure out. I can get cats and a hey running through here and breaking a limb or two, but then you would see the limb or two, and so there's nothing there. Anyway, yeah. So I don't know. I've thought about putting pumpkins and getting our fall stuff out and doing that today. So who knows what we'll end up doing. But if you've had this scenario happen, feel free to jump on and let us know, because maybe somebody else has experienced this and don't know. But yeah, nothing is there when it was there the day prior. So anyway, friends, thank you so much for watching. If you have Instagram or TikTok and you want to join us, or just go in there and give us a thumbs up, and feel free. But this garden's a lot of fun. We still got a lot of time left, a little time left to do a lot of things, I suppose. So anyway, I can't wait to share with you guys our birds. Can't wait to share with you guys what we're doing in the creeks and the different pond areas and the sheds and stuff. So just stay patient. All is well, though. We will see you folks on the flip side. Bye-bye now.